Morning, Chris Knorr from Challenger Gold, and this morning it's my pleasure to update shareholders on a transaction we've announced this morning, which we believe is truly transformational for Challenger. What we've done is we've coupled a toll milling agreement with a placement to a strategic investor that's already on our register, and it has the effect of it transitions Challenger from a developer to a producer in the very near term. I'd love to claim responsibility for the agreement, but I can't. I'd like to congratulate Sergio Rotondo, our chairman, and Sonia Delago, our executive director in Argentina, who put this agreement together for the company. They've worked tirelessly, and I think what this shows is the quality we've got across the entire Challenger team, particularly in Argentina. The toll milling agreement covers about 85,000 ounces of our high-grade gold, which will be toll milled over 3 years. Importantly, the agreement includes funding for our costs of mining, trucking, and processing ore, so very low cost startup. Be highly profitable, given we're talking average grades of about 6 grams gold and over 30 grams silver. And the key is, it provides a pathway to fund the larger standalone Hualilan development out of cash flow, which we just didn't have. And, we're really only tolling 85,000 ounces, which is, about 3% of the standalone resource to get there. So it doesn't impact the larger operation or its value. The placement done to Dolphin Real Assets, which is part of the Elsztain Group, represents around 9.9% of Challenger, raises $6.6 million to fund this work associated with toll milling and the startup. And we're doing a small SPP capped at $1 million at the same price to allow shareholders a chance to co-invest with the strategic investor. Why are we doing this? I spoke at the Australian Gold Conference back in August. We've met, a number of important milestones, over the first half of 2024, and really there's been, no market reaction. Why? It's because, the current market model, the funding model's broken. It doesn't seem to work. There is no sort of pathway for not just us, but companies in our position to actually raise the funds to actually get to the larger development. Therefore, you're seeing, a fraction of the value of the overall project reflected in the share price. So in August, we started looking at, how we could focus on near-term production. And I think today's agreement, is a watershed. It gets us there. And I think now we should and we deserve to have a fair portion of that sort of 30 to 40 cents a share value of Hualilan in the share price, given we now have a clear pathway to get into production. What does toll milling mean for us in terms of cash flow? We'll put out a PEA. It'll be a PEA because we're likely listed in Canada before the end of the year in the next sort of, 8 to 10 weeks. We can talk to numbers then. I've had a couple of broker reports that are going to be out this morning come across my desk. They're talking, revenue per tonne in that $350 to $400 range. Overall profit per tonne, and I think this number's a little light because they're using 2,350 gold of, the order of about $170 a tonne. But if we take those numbers, you're looking at almost 500,000 tonnes. You're making just under $200 a tonne. It's a big number, and that's why we think this is transformational for Challenger. It really does provide a pathway to fund us into production, out of cash flow. What have you got to look forward to in terms of milestones as we progress? We've had a group of San Juan plant specialists do an inspection and an audit of the toll milling plant. We're waiting for the final report. We'll get that out to the market as soon as we get that. We've also done some more metallurgical test work, which is basically taking the parcel of ore we intend to toll mill and replicate the toll milling flow sheet. The results for that are pending, so they should be out soon. The actual placement and final toll milling agreement should be closed in 45 days. And as I mentioned, there'll be a bunch of work coming through on this over the next couple of months leading up to a PEA, which is the 43-101 equivalent of a scoping study on what the tolling startup looks like. We'll then go back and integrate that into a larger pre-feas. We've lodged our EIA, which is the final approval we need for permission to mine, not just via toll milling, but standalone at Hualilan. We expect to have that approved in the first quarter of next year, which leads us into our startup. So look, my pleasure to update shareholders, and I'm really excited to update shareholders as we go on the progress of this toll milling going forward, because I believe it's transformational for Challenger, and it now gives us a window where we can actually get full value in the stock. Thanks, and have a great day.